Hi, I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
It's so vivid. Welcome back for another day of the Extraordinary Times, and here we go.
All right, so a little update on the Dragon Capsule, and if you've just joined us for the first time ever, check out previous episodes. Otherwise, yeah, we've talked about this one a bit. The Dragon being the privately owned space capsule, unmanned, first one to ever reach the International Space Station, has reached its destination. It went through a bunch of early tests. It had to go back and forth a little times just to make sure everything was all right, but as the astronaut said, it looks like we've got a dragon by the tail. So, history made. Awesome.
Next up, Mitt Romney recently was interviewed about the fact that he either has said very, very little about things on the campaign trail, or when he says things, they get, taken out of context and chopped and screwed. And he kind of addressed that as, well, yeah, I have to pick my words and the way I phrase them very carefully all the time, or I'm going to get torn to shreds. Basically, he's met the internet. So, yeah, it's crazy. He's actually, trying to be smart about speaking. Weird politician.
And actually owning up to it, too.
Yeah.
Instead of blaming everybody else, it's like, you know what? I'm actually going to be trying careful, Cool.
He's treading softly, I kind of like that in a leader. Just saying.
Good man.
Moving on.
All right, so it's recently been discovered, thanks to a bit of a lawsuit, that a somewhat recent employee of the TSA over at the Philadelphia's International Airport, is actually previously a priest of the Catholic Church who was defrocked because of sexual abuse allegations.
There's jokes to be made here.
The irony is stunning.
I really, really want to make inappropriate jokes, but I just can't. I feel like I'm above that.
Was it a selling point on his resume? I don't know.
I know how to... Never mind.
Either way,
Let me show you.
Just kind of shows, really, that for the positions that the TSA fills, they really need to be screening their employment process a lot better than they are.
So, moving on to educational news, we have a independent school district in San Antonio whose next year plan is to roll out student IDs that are RF chipped. For those of you who don't know, RFID is radio frequency identification. It's a technology that they can put into badges and passports, for instance, that they're doing now. That holds information that at a moment's scan, like if you scanned a barcode or whatever, it will draw up the information that is stored in that radio frequency ID. And depending on how much information is there, you can read it if you have the right scanner. And so they're basically wanting to chip these students via their ID cards that they have to have on them at all times at school. And allegedly, they're only going to track these students in the school. But for anyone who understands the idea of a radio frequency and these chips that don't just deactivate when you leave school, these kids could be tracked at any given time, anywhere they are. And for me, even as a parent who would like to know where my child is at all times, that makes me very, 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 very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'd rather not having other people know where the children are. Ugh.
The thing is, like, even if you don't have the right decryption software to decipher what is on the chip, if you have a very basic radio frequency scanner, you can find this radio frequency. So, yeah, bothersome all around for me. And we move on to Florida.
Oh, Florida, you give us such interesting news. So if you've been watching the show for a while, you'll know I am an avid participant in the sport of golf. I love it, probably a little too much.
A little bit unhealthy, I have to tell you.
So I can understand people's reactions when a plane door falls onto a Hallandale Beach, Florida golf course.
That's why I gave it to you, because I wouldn't be able to say it.
I mean, just going through, it's a very gentlemanly game. It's a very, kind of uppity game, I'll admit. And just seeing this door fall through the air and land on the course is, it blows my mind. Just, wow. It's really big obstacle to get around, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever played golf. You hit golf ball on something metal. Ricochet is like terrible. Anyway.
Rapidly unpredictable, that one.
Either way, they only know it's from a Canadair CL60.
Actually, they know which flight, because the flight itself was like, hey, remember that time our door just fell off? We're going to go land somewhere where we're not going to die.
Right. They don't know why it came off, though. They have no idea what led to all this.
It's a mystery.
Door on a golf course.
Plane door. Anyways. So, in Toledo, there was, Ohio, for the uninitiated, Toledo, Ohio, there was a young man on a BMX bike who robbed a bank. But because he is apparently a clever young man, he was wearing a black hoodie, black backpack, black pants, had a black gun, and was wearing a plastic Darth Vader mask. Yeah. And when he got a good bit of money left on his BMX bike and disappeared. And
got away.
So far has got away clean.
I guess if you're going to rob a bank, you might as well do it as a Sith Lord.
Right? Apparently. It's good to be alive these days, isn't it?
Yeah. If you have any information, contact the authorities.
That's serious, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, he robbed
Darth Vader knocked over a bank.
Darth Vader knocked over a bank. It's like those old movies where you put on the presidential masks,
right?
The Hillary and Bill masks. Anyways,
all right. So the next story is just heart-wrenching. Sorry, bad pun is bad. To explain that. There's a baby over in Italy.
It's a good one. Good spoil.
Good, yes. Good heart-wrenching. 16-month-old baby boy that needed a heart transplant. His heart was expanding too much to the point where it couldn't contract anymore. And they tried putting in the normal external pipe heart that they have, and that created some infections, unfortunately. So they went through and decided they needed to save this baby. This baby needed to live. So they got permission. They got all the legal permits to try out this little pill-sized artificial heart.
11 grams for those of you who know your metric weighs.
Little tiny thing.
11 grams. Metal and plastic. It's like bitty. Like way tiny.
About that big.
Not
either
the size
way,
of your screen, not actual size.
Either way, it saved the baby's life. It extended his ability to keep living until another heart was available, or at least until it shorted out and they could put in the other one again for just a couple days. Either way, he is alive because the doctors were strong enough to say, you know what, this has only been tested on animals, but it's our only choice, so we are going to do it. And they did it the right way, too. So good on ya.
Go Italy. So, that's our last real story of today. This weekend, Men in Black 3 comes out. I've heard mixed reviews from people who saw the production of it. Like, scenes were written like 5 minutes before they were shot and whatever. So, like, it sounds kind of abysmal in that way, but at the same time, they spent a lot of money on it. So that amount of money might save it from the brink of destruction. So I'm going to go see it. Not this weekend, probably, because I have obligations to tend to. But you know, it's gonna be fun. You know, I like Will. He's one of my favorites, and
I'll
Tommy
see
Lee
it
Jones.
eventually.
Tommy Lee Jones is actually like my favorite actor of all time, mostly because he reminds me of my dad.
Nice.
You know, a really, really, really skinny version of my dad.
I'll probably see it eventually. I liked MIB1, but not 2.
Oh,
Not 2. Anyway, not to speak of bad things right at the end of the show.
oh come on. Anyways, I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
If you really liked us, you know, favorite it. If you kind of liked us, like it. If you want us to get better, hit that subscribe button-y thing that's somewhere up here. And these are extraordinary times. Be aware.